in the way that he or she can imagine it to be. I don't think. I mean, as I've been a photojournalist and I'm still working in the media. If I'm working on a story, I'm also conscious of my audience, but I'm not making those photographs only for my audience. I have to be, I always journalism and in documentary photography, there are always three stakeholders. One is the person or the milieu or the society or whatever you want to call it that you're photographing. They're the first stakeholder. The second stakeholder is you as a photographer,
Yeah.
and that includes the organization you represent, the newspaper, etc., etc. And the third stakeholder is the viewer. If you're working in journalism, therefore the reader or whatever it is, and they're all equal stakeholders. So you have to be true to all of them. I mean, if you're trying to bullshit one of them, then you're finished. It's not true. But at the time of making the photograph, a photojournalist has to be true to himself first. Very important. I mean, he has to be definitely be respectful of the privacy or whatever the feelings of the people he's photographing. But at that point, he must think about what he's doing right there.
So we are still expecting some questions from the friend because I'm running out of my questions. Here's one raised hand there. It would be interesting if you could introduce yourself and then say what's your inclination with photography.
Hello sir, I'm Amul Thapa. Welcome to Nepal. I'm Amul Thapa. I'm from one of the renowned daily newspaper, Naya Patrika. So I have a question regarding the photos of the news. So I know it has been clear in the world that Nepal was hit by an earthquake, and all the photographs in the news category have been selected from the news. How did you found the pictures beside the earthquake in the news category? Such like there were many other different photographs as well. So I just want to know what kind of pictures you actually found, and I just wanted to hear some of the comments regarding the pictures. There might be some pictures like from the protests and other categories as well. So I just wanted to know the difference between in your country and in our country, the pictures regarding the pictures quality and the pictures composition and all. Thank you.
Okay, that's a good question because that's something that the jury also thought about quite deeply. Because in the news category, of course there was a lot of photographs to do with the earthquake, but there were other pictures. There were pictures of the Madhesya Andolan. There were other. I mean, I don't know the exact event,
Yeah.
but there were other images also. And there was always this question, that I can share this quite honestly with you all, because we debated it, that do we, what happens if all the three winning pictures are from the earthquake? Are we ignoring another event? And the general consensus was no. We have to give the award to the best three images. So there were other images. In fact, there was another image from a sort of a demonstration in the street, which was very high in the running of the top few images. But finally, it did not make it because the other pictures were a bit better. So I think when you have a major news event and of a kind of a national catastrophe like the earthquake, and so many good photographs, there is a chance that in a contest like this, that it will overwhelm all other pictures.
Thank you for your question. यहाँले नेपालीमा पनि प्रश्न सोध्न सक्नुहुनेछ, म त्यसलाई सहज गर्ने प्रयास गर्नेछु.
My question is on the regards of sports category. We see that only the photos that's taken out of the pitches got award or the prizes. What about the on-pitch photo? In sports photography, does the emotions also counts, or the only the movement or the demonstration photo, like when the players or athlete gets awarded, he claims the gold medal and the demonstrate photo. So what is your opinion about that on-pitch and off-pitch photography?
In sports, on the pitch photography, we didn't see that, and because the pictures that were rewarded in that category were off the pitch photography.
Yeah, again, very good question, because that's something that we also thought about. Because, you know, in sports, any photography to do with sports, the action, the moment is very important, even more than in the other categories. Maybe news is the same, but and there were very good images from on the pitch also, which again made it into a contention for the top few pictures. But again, the same criteria, you take the moment, the mood, the atmosphere, and what the picture is saying also altogether. And a lot of sports photography is about the sort of triumph of the human spirit, right? In a way, it's about that, you know. And I think the jury veered to some pictures of, for example, of the boys playing on the terrace, football in a remote place, because it's also the joy of the sport, you know, which instead of a picture from the pitch. But yeah, I mean, it's a question that can be asked legitimately. Why not? Why shouldn't it be a picture from the pitch? But I think we always looked at what were the best images. That's
I think this question also, I also wanted to go into this question because in all the past years we have always seen pictures inside the pitch that were rewarded. So probably this is the first time, if I'm wrong, this is the first time an off the pitch picture comes as the winner. Maybe that has brought up that question. How were the entries on the pitch entries this time on sports category?
There were some very good entries, especially from soccer, and not from just first-class tournament, but from village-level tournaments also, and which is also interesting. I mean, real interesting stuff from the pitch. From other sports, from endurance sports also. I mean, there's no pitch there because the entire nature is the pitch for that. So they were interesting. There were some quite a few interesting pictures.
प्रश्नहरू केही छन् भने नेपालीमा पनि यहाँ राख्न सकिनेछ, म त्यसलाई अनुवाद गर्ने प्रयास गर्नेछु. Vijay has another question here.
You have worked in the print media and you have also been to the jury of Photo. Mostly personally, I feel that there has been a lot of difference in selection of pictures, like the pictures that are being printed or that get published, and sometimes the pictures that win awards are so different that somehow they may not make it to the print or might not be selected by the editors. What's your experience on selecting the pictures for the contest, and what is it for the contest and for the media? But somehow in both ways the message can be the same. But still, what is the difference selecting the pictures in two places?
Okay, so that's again a very good question, which is something that I wanted to touch upon later on when we talked about. See, the idea of a contest, the idea of including the PJ Club Contest, you know, and the World Press Photo Contest, is to take all the best images and then you choose. We are not applying the standards of a newspaper or a magazine here, because a newspaper or a magazine has its own compulsions of what they want to publish at that particular time on the pages. And at times, unfortunately, the decision on what's being published in the media is not taken sensibly, because it's very often in the hands of people who are not sensitive to photography. I mean, this is true from across the world. I mean, I'm sure all of photojournalists who are sitting there here will have the same complaint as we have had before. But a photo contest is supposed to distill the idea of what journalism or photojournalism is. And in a way, if the judges are awarding pictures that they feel are really epitomize that year's best images in terms of what they convey and how they are shot, etc., then perhaps the newspapers and magazines will also start thinking about doing things a bit differently. That is the idea behind it.
Mr. Panjiyar, is photography becoming photojournalism nowadays?
No, I think not at all. I think the traditional idea of photojournalism is changed quite a bit. You will see, I mean, like, in fact, I think photojournalism should become more about photography rather than just photojournalism, you know.
Rather than journalism dictating photography, it should be the photography that should come in journalism.
Yeah, you know, in photojournalism, we are, concerned about showing what is happening. I think in today's day and age, and we must recognize that all of us need to recognize that very, very clearly, that in the day and age when information is available, when I was working in the 70s or 80s in photojournalism, if you went to a remote corner of Nepal where people had not, and other people have not seen those kind of images, then you can say, oh, you are showing something that people don't know about. But in today's day and age, with so much information available, people are actually aware of a lot of things. So we, as good photojournalists, I think we need to acknowledge the fact that it's equally important. What we show is equally important as how we show it. And that how we show it is the aesthetics of photography. I don't think we should lose track of that. And that is something that is going to dominate. What we show plus how we show, not just what we show,
So, if how we show is not in a photojournalist's hand, but what we show is in the hand of photojournalist here, because that is where the editor comes into place, where maybe the editor has his own priorities in the picture, but how you present the picture is his priority, but what I give is my priority.
No, that is how it's disseminated. That's different. But how we show means how we photograph it. For example, take the World Press Photo winning image of this year of a Syrian refugee passing a baby under a barbed wire. It's shot, low light. It does not have the aesthetics of, or rather, what does it show? It shows, so the information that is, the baby being passed under barbed wire, so it is the illegal crossing of a refugee, etc. But the way the photographers shot it, the night, the graininess of the image, the slight blur and shake in the image, all that contribute to how the feeling that you get of vulnerability and therefore empathy with that. So it's not just that's what I meant. I mean, how it is disseminated is a different matter. How it is printed is a. So the way that we photograph it is